Good evening. It's evening where I am, of course, but good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. I know I haven't been on here in a while, but this word, God has me ministering on my Instagram account mostly. He took me from YouTube to Instagram. But I'm back on here because I feel like I need to post this word to both my pages. And if you go to Esther 6, and I'm reading from the top to bottom of 6. I seen, and I just know something's coming to where a lot of God's people are going to get blessed. I think this is a financial blessing, but it's going to come through the court system. If you felt that in your spirit when I just said that this word is for you, if you felt when I said court system, this word is for you. So listen, Mordecai honored. It say, on that night could not the king sleep, and he recommended to bring the book of records of the chronicles, and they were read before the king. And it was found written that Mordecai had told Bigthana, and Teresh, two of the king's chamberlains, the keepers of the door, who sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the king said, what honor and dignity have been done to Mordecai for this? Then said the king's servants that ministered to him, there is nothing done for him. And the king said, who was in the court? Now, Haman was come into the court. Now Haman was come into the outward court of the king's house to speak unto the king to hang Mordecai on a gallows that he had already prepared for him. And a king's servant said unto him, behold, Haman standeth in the court. And the king said, let him come in. So Haman came in, and the king said unto him, what shall be done unto this man whom the king delighteth in honor? Now Haman thought in his heart, to whom would the king delight to do honor more than to myself? And I cannot say his name right. Haman answered the king for the man whom the king delighteth to honor. I'm going to stop there because I didn't read past 7. So if you read in Esther 6, I stopped at 7. But when I say top to bottom, it's because in my King James Version, that's where it stopped on the page. Like I read from the top to the bottom. So let me go in and say, if you never read the book of Esther, Esther is one of the women who worked, I believe she was a Jew. She worked for a king, which is king that I'm talking about in this passage is King Ahasuerus. She worked for King Ahasuerus. She was one of the women that was, I really don't remember what her job was. I would believe they were servants, but because I haven't read Esther in a while, but Esther was taken by the king. Like he thought she was very beautiful, so he got rid of his old wife and he took Esther to become his wife. But in the meanwhile, behind the scenes, Esther had an uncle or a cousin named Mordecai, which is I'm speaking about right now. And Mordecai, he was also a Jew, and King Ahasuerus and all of the people in his community, they didn't like Jews. So Mordecai asked Esther, as long as she worked at the castle or in the king's kingdom, do not tell anybody that you're a Jew. Just work and do what you got to do and just stay low, but the king took liking to Esther. So she wanted to tell him that she was a Jew. She wanted to come clean that she was a Jew. So Mordecai had came across Haman, and Mordecai had overheard, which is the cousin of Esther. He overheard two of the king's doormen talking to conspire to kill with Haman, which is the king's right hand. They conspire, all three of them conspire to kill the king, right? So Mordecai had overheard this conversation, and he reported it. And it got to the king, but the king didn't know where this came from. So he went to the book of Chronicles, and he asked them to pull the records to see what happened to Mordecai for saving my life, basically. And the people was like, nothing. They didn't reward him with anything. I don't know if it was because he was a Jew or anything like that, but nothing was done to this man for saving the king's life, okay? So the king now has record that he actually reported this, right? And he's telling the people to go and get Haman, the one that conspired with the two doormen to kill him, and tell him to come in. But look, Haman didn't like Mordecai because he was a Jew. So he had made these, what was they called? Gallows, which is, in the ancient times, if you remember like old movies, if you watch Game of Thrones, they had the wooden like planks things that had a noose to it, and you would hang the people in lines like one by one on this plank of wood. Like, it was pretty high before. I don't know if they was hanging on there before trees or whatever, what have you, but they would like build this like ark, and it's called a gallows. So Haman had a gallows built to hang Mordecai, right? Because he was a Jew. For like, he just hated him. And because they all hated Jews in that kingdom, they didn't think nothing of it. But Mordecai did an honor by saving the king's life, right? I hope I'm not losing you. So now the king is becoming aware of the records that was kept, right? And he's going to reward Mordecai. So God is saying right now, Lord, speak through me, that you did something. You were wrongfully convicted. They overcharged you for something. Maybe it was a landlord-tenant thing. I don't know. Somewhere, some way, something was taken from you financially, and it's going to be given back to you. You're going to be honored for being truthful, for being honest, for not doing anything wrong, right? You like, remember, Haman was trying to kill Mordecai for just being just a simple Jew, you know? And a lot of people get convicted for things that they didn't do, or just looking suspicious, or, you know, just being, what is it called? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Lord, help me, give me the words. Profiled. You've been profiled. So what God is saying right now is that he is restoring that. He's replacing and restoring what was taken from you. There it is. It just came out. He's restoring and giving back what was taken from you. And I'm going to take you to where it hit me, okay? When he went and said, and the king said, who is in the court? And I had because this is speaking to my personal life. And I literally was just speaking to somebody about something that happened to me. You know, this is speaking to me through. And I just literally was talking about it today. And then I got like 2 more confirmations about it. But I still was like, I don't know why that's coming back up. But I know that I didn't do anything. You know, I know that everything that went on was wrong, completely wrong. But I had let it go. I let it go because I just felt like it was a fight I could not win. Have you ever felt that way before? But right now, God is doing a thing where he is restoring that. And because you let it go, and because you didn't put up a fight, he know what happened. That's why I'm trying to tell y'all, like, God is always in control. And he knows behind the scenes. This is all behind the scenes work. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have to ever say Mordecai said that the king was going to get killed. Like, they didn't have to say Mordecai's name. They could have took credit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't ever have to put the record in the book. He was a Jew. They didn't even like Jews. So God is saying that his people was in place. And whatever you went through is not going in vain, okay? Just know that God is saying that right now. And I love you guys, and I really pray that this reaches who it's supposed to reach. It reached me. I'm just filled with the Holy Spirit right now. Like, I don't know. I'm at awe for real, honestly. Like, but it's coming. And I love you guys. Good night.